Hi guys, I'm Anya.
And I'm Jess, and welcome to Coffee Catchup. This is our first episode where we're going to be talking about what Coffee Catchup is.
How it started and where we want it to go.
So it's just going to be a nice little chat. It's a lot less formal than our
Yeah.
first official video that we did with our intro. If you haven't already gone and checked that out, it'll be linked in the card up there and also down below, so go check that out. But this is going to be a bit more of an in-depth of what to expect and also where it came from. And I think really the first part we want to talk about is Costa Coffee.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Not sponsored.
hashtag not sponsored.
But we wish it was.
Maybe one day. If it gets big.
Maybe.
But no, I think, we used to meet up a lot at Costa.
Yeah.
Like every month.
Yeah, it was like our thing because
Yeah.
we didn't I wasn't allowed out. Like my mum didn't really want us to
Go anywhere else. It was a safe, mutual space where, it was, we'd go every few months sometimes. Like, we saw each other at school, but there was a point where I was doing my own thing, you were doing your own thing. We didn't really see each other, and that would be our moment where we'd, catch up.
Yeah.
The actual idea, I think, stemmed from that and was like, we're doing this, we're meeting up every few months, and we're, like, literally spending hours chatting. Like, we'd have, like, this whole thing whereby we'd say, okay, we're gonna stay till about 3,
and it'll be like 5 o'clock.
It's like 5 o'clock. It's 6, and it's not like we're still talking and we're still catching up, and that's the beauty, I think, of our friendship. Is that we can just sit there and we can not talk for like 3-4 weeks and then get back and talk for days.
Remember during lockdown, I don't think I texted you once during lockdown, except from when I had COVID. I got COVID.
Yeah.
Same class. But that was the only time I texted you, and then we came back to school, and it was like nothing had changed.
It was fine.
And I think that us being able to do that just shows we can get on with our own lives and still come back together and be stronger.
It's so healthy. I think a lot of teenagers see that as, oh, but how are you guys even friends? You're not spending every waking moment with them, especially best friends. Like, this is the thing, is like, I feel like, we have our own lives, but we're not in each other's pockets all the time. And I feel that a lot of friendships actually get ruined from that. Or there are some friendships where, you can be constantly with them and everything's fine. But, I feel like a lot of the time when you're so close with someone that you're constantly with them, it can actually end up making you hate each other some ways. And we have never really been like that, really. Even when we were at school, we still, we weren't,
space, and we picked very different subjects. We're hardly ever in the same classes, but we still
geography class.
Oh,
yeah,
during GCSE,
not GCSE.
Oh,
but
no, but
when before. So how school works in England, if you're not in England, you do your secondary school, which is like year 7 to year 9, which is when we were like still becoming friends and things like that. Then you do your GCSEs for 2 years, year 10 to 11, where you pick your subjects, and then there's A levels, which is 12 to 13, years 12 to 13, but during GCSEs we picked completely different subjects. We're not the kind of friends to be like,
oh, well, if you're doing that, then I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
Because there's just no point.
But we saw each other at lunch and things, but then I got with my migraines, I was barely at school anyway. So it's like we still had such a good, strong friendship from that. And do you want to talk about how we got the name? Coffee Catchup?
Yes, let's go. Oh my god, it's so crazy. We were doing DV, bronze DV, if anyone's done that. War flashbacks, honestly.
Duke of Edinburgh Award, for those of you who don't know.
I think we were walking up a hill.
Yeah.
Walking up a hill, sweaty as anything.
We were abandoned as well, by the way. I'd just like to say, our group...
No, so it must have been our silver practice.
Yeah, I think it was silver.
I lied.
Yeah.
It was our silver practice.
We've smashed our bronze, well, kind of anyway, nearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we did actually. We did really well.
We won an award.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. But we started silver, and that was the worst experience of my life.
Our group left us with the map as well. Like, they left without the map. Like, we were just having to kind of figure it out.
Just kind of make our way to each checkpoint.
So to save our sanities, we just were talking about random stuff. And
yeah, and then we were walking up this hill in the Peak District down a shaft. And the sun, and like we had these like really heavy backpacks on because we had to carry everything. If we're doing this podcast, then we need a name for it. Like we can't just make a podcast with like no name. And we just kind of like had a
I can't remember who came up with it, but it was like coffee catchup.
Yeah, it was like a light bulb moment where we're like coffee catchup, like it makes so much sense.
And then we kind of joked about it because Anya actually at the time didn't drink coffee.
No.
She drank hot chocolate.
I was a hot chocolate
but
girl.
she was willing to fake it to make it, you know. But now
I'm obsessed. Yeah. I can write for
it's like 2 years ago, bearing in mind. Like the timeline it's taken for this to actually start, it's been a while, but I'm glad that we waited because we've both matured. Like we're both 18. We mentioned in our introduction. And we both had like little life experiences. Obviously, we haven't experienced everything, but you know, we've experienced enough, and we're both very mature in that way of like, you know, and we're hoping that this podcast as well, again, we mentioned it in the introduction, gives a space where, you know, people our age or younger can actually feel, you know, good about themselves and just being themselves because like, especially in school, there's so much of that, like having to fake it.
And like, hey, you're like not alone. Like we've been through that. Like
been there, done that.
I can't tell you the amount of times that like I felt so alone at school.
You've definitely had more of an experience than me because I wasn't really at school much at the end of it.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories of it and things, and also like, you know, it's just that whole thing. But again, that's something we'll go more detail into in another future episode. I think we want to kind of keep it to just talking about coffee catchup itself.
And I think we actually had an original cover, and it was going to be like an outline of us.
Yes, I remember this.
And it was like the background of a coffee shop, and you drew both of us. And it was like coffee catchup.
I did the line art, didn't I? So I got a picture of us both, and I drew it. If you find that picture, we'll try put it on here.
Yeah, we will definitely.
I think we'll have to check.
But it has changed so much, like drastic. And also, we weren't that big into reading back then.
No,
we, as you can see, we have like. It has taken more of a focus as like our like biggest hobby is reading. Like it's like a lifestyle almost, reading.
Yeah.
And I feel like in future episodes I want to talk about like how like TikTok and like Instagram have like kind of helped a lot of like
the
authors.
Motivation as well to
like,
read.
Yeah.
But I think again, like there's a lot of pros and cons about that.
Yeah.
And that if that's something you guys would be interested in, we definitely could do some sort of like deep podcast about of like the pros and cons of books like being spread around like online and stuff. But no, so back to coffee catchup.
Reeling us back in.
Let me. I forgot which part we were gonna. Oh, initial thoughts of the brand and how it's changed. So we kind of talked about that, but we could go more in detail into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to coffee catchup and actually kind of our initial thoughts of the brand and what we were expecting. Thinking back 2 years ago, I feel like we were very, like you said, focused on just the lifestyle of it, not actually the book side of things. But now it's very much, it's the main focus, but it's not at the same time.
It's like a mix of the two because you know, like the book community is like is huge.
It's massive,
and we are part of it. And I feel like it would be wrong not to include that huge community.
And with books, I feel like lifestyle comes with it because you are getting to live so many different lives in these books and things, and you know all these kind of stuff that you're trying to look into. And in a way, we're escaping from reality.
I feel like also some things that I read like change my aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like Chestnut Springs. It's going to be mentioned in like every single
current episode. I'm reading right now, by the way, guys. Powerless.
I feel like that has like actually changed my outlook on the countryside.
Just like cowboys.
Like I actually want to be a cowgirl.
Yeah.
Like I want to meet a cowboy.
Yeah, but that's the other thing as
well.
We
have to go to a ranch in America.
We do. I think also it's like with shows as well. I grew up with a lot of shows like that, so I always was a huge fan of it. But you've only experienced that now in books, And I think as well we'll end up talking about TV shows and things eventually,
course,
and like just general trends with the podcast. I think as well, originally when we were looking at doing it, we were just thinking the podcast, that's it. Whereas now we're seeing it from such a broader view.
Because it's got to be a brand. Like, you've got to be able to build a community in all spaces.
And we've got that business view of it as well. As much as we'd like to say this would be an amazing hobby, I think even so, if it was just a hobby, it'd be really fun. But obviously, if we were to make some sort of side career out of this, it would be amazing.
I think that was one of our main goals for like the future of this, is to like hopefully make Coffee Catchup like a named brand. Maybe hopefully even like you're saying, like merch.
So Anya and I were talking about trying to support other businesses as well, local businesses. We're going to be doing probably a few videos on that actually as well. Just generally like trying out, you know, merch and things from like bookmark stores, from like like we're big sweatshirt kind of people, so you know, anything book related would be amazing. But with that also means the possible kind of collaborations with doing these kind of like
and like branching out more. And building an even bigger community.
Exactly. Like we've got the Discord server as well, which is growing as well. Like I think, you know, we only have about 20 members right now, but as a start, that is really, really good. And, you know, hopefully it will become a point where, you know, we have everyone chatting every single day, talking about what they're reading, you know, a
like,
space.
People motivating each other. Because I feel like you said, like there's some months where you find it so hard to like pick up a book. And right now, like I am in a book slump.
Same girl.
That's why I bought Powerless, and I'm gonna read it because like, I need to jump back into Chestnut Springs. But I feel like it's so important to have people around you that like the same things as you, so that they motivate you to want to do it.
And not just that, but also this. I feel like this is huge motivation for both of us. And I hope as listeners or as watchers that it motivates you as well, even if you're not a huge book person and you're sitting there and you're like, you know, I'm maybe just listening to this just for the background noise, the vibes, you know. Honestly, try different genres. Try pick up a book. You know, you can go to a library, so you don't even have to commit like to buying a book, or you know, Kindle Unlimited's like free for the first month. I think they're actually doing a 3-month trial now as well. So you know, now is the perfect time to just try it. And if you don't like it, fine. You know, it's okay. Like it doesn't.
Like the point of this is not to force you to like books.
Exactly.
It's just to enhance people's like perspective on like different types of books. Because not everyone likes the same genre.
We read sometimes completely different books. Like when I started reading the Chestnut Springs series, I bought it for Anya as well, for part of it anyway, for her birthday, or I think it was Christmas.
No, it was Christmas.
Yeah, it was Christmas. And she read the first 2, was it, or the first one, which was Flawless.
And I thought, like, I'm never going to read this series. I hate it so much. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a second chance. I'm going to read the second book. Instantly hooked.
It's the single dad thing.
I know. I think I might just have a trait for single dads.
But, you know, also Elsie Silver is releasing a whole series which is just single dads.
I know.
So it's like we're gonna read it.
Is that
I think it's the Wild Love
Rose Hill series?
So we definitely
Rose Hill is like a drive away from Chestnut Springs.
And I love how it's all connected as
well. I love that she's like actually put so much thought into it, and I think that's why I like the second book as well, because Rhett and Summer is still in.
Even though you weren't a huge fan of the
but they're still in there, so I feel like I'm like, oh, okay, like I understand what they're talking about. Like I like the community it's built.
It's nice. It's nice. But, and I think also the other thing we weren't expecting to do when we made this brand / channel is vlogs. Which is
that's gonna be like a huge thing.
I feel like, so a little bit of context, because Anya and I already know kind of the plans. We don't want to give too much into it, but the plan is for the first probably 4 to 6 weeks we will release podcast episodes weekly. after the first 4 to 6 weeks, they'll probably then go to bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks we'll release an episode, so that we have enough time, one, to give quality content, like over amounts of content, and also two, to be able to do these little vlogs and things. Because obviously we don't have the funds to get an editor or do all of this. So it's kind of mixed between us both, and we're both kind of...
You have other commitments with streaming.
Yeah.
And I have a part-time job.
Exactly.
And we're also both trying to learn to drive.
Trying not to run over people.
Stay off the roads, people, so we pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's nice that we've started it now at a point in our lives where we have
the time.
But I know that like after those like 4 weeks,
it's gonna go slower.
Yeah, we need to slow down.
Yeah,
the pace.
but that's not a bad thing. I think it's good that we've set that out for ourselves, because we're not going to overwork ourselves. We're not going to get burnt out. I mean, there may be points where we get burnt out, but that's normal.
But the fact that we're doing it together, it's like we're not alone. Like
exactly.
Like Jess can always talk to me if she's feeling overwhelmed, and I know I can always talk to her when I'm feeling overwhelmed.
And there are going to be some days where I can put in 100% and you can't.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, or just in general, you know, I can put in more and you can put in less sometimes. And again, like mix. And that's, you know, doing it with your best friend as well is so helpful, because, you know, everyone says, oh, don't go into business with your best friend and things, you're going to end up hating them. But we've got that friendship where literally I feel like, you know, we're just here for the vibes. You know, if it turns into something, it turns into something great. But, you know, the amount of support as well, I just want to point out, like, the amount of messages that I received after, like, starting it has been so overwhelmingly like good.
It just gives us more motivation and more like there's a reason why we're doing this, and
which is why like we really ask you guys to, you know, comment your opinions, you know, what you want to see, all of these kind of things, so that, you know, it keeps us going. Like and even on our social medias, I know not everyone has all the different social medias, but you know, if you've got Instagram, if you've got Discord, like
you can join.
We're happy to talk to people. Like I talk to people every single day. Like
I try my best.
Anya's getting there.
I'm getting there. I'm getting the hang of it.
I taught her everything about the server, so hopefully we'll see more. But it's the excitement of it.
It is.
I'm so excited, and I think you know, I can see us in the future being really, really, even if it's not like we're famous, just like we have a good following, we have
just
people
like
who...
that we've built like a space for people to feel like they can be like, oh, like this is what I'm reading, or like for people who don't read, for people like, even if it's like your newest coffee recipe, because I want to try out as many iced coffee recipes as I can.
Yeah, lattes in particular. Lattes.
Yeah. I want to also try matcha, because that's a really big thing. I have not tried matcha.
I don't even. It just, the green like puts me off.
Does it put you off?
It puts me off, because I'm like,
yeah.
But I don't know what it tastes like. No clue.
No, me neither.
So it's like,
so if you've got any matcha recipes, so again, like there is a coffee aspect to this. We're very much coffee addicts. So there's always going to be something for someone. If you don't like books, but you like coffee. If you don't like coffee, but you like books. If you just like the friendship aspect, and you like to put us on in the background while you're cleaning, or trying to, maybe not doing your work because we're probably distract you. But like just to put us on in the background for some noise, like it's fine. Like
we're not asking for your full attention. Like we're not being like, listen, you're gonna sit down
and listen to every word we say,
and you're gonna give us a detailed analysis afterwards about what you thought. Right? Maybe I'll get Owen to do that, but that's it.
Well, I'm not counting on Matt to do that.
But yeah, so I think it's, what are you most excited about in the future?
Oh, I've already said this. So me and my dad were driving past this huge warehouse.
Right.
And it was like to rent. And I was like, oh, Dad, imagine if me and Jess bought this for like coffee Catchup.
Yeah.
And like we had our like podcast studio. We had like, because like obviously it's a warehouse, so we can like make it as like cozy as we want to. And like
actually fix the lighting.
Actually fix the lighting. We already had an issue with that. And to have like a little office space, because there's a little office space at the front, like to have like a desk center, to have our own like neon signs, and like maybe even one day open a coffee shop.
Oh my god!
With our own like coffee recipe,
and with books. Like,
Yeah.
it's the
And
possibilities are
yeah.
endless. I think one thing also I'm really excited about, which I'm sure you are too, and
Yeah.
I've already had some people ask if this is going to happen, and I'm pretty sure it is the Coffee Catchup book club.
Oh yes,
It will
definitely.
happen. It definitely will happen.
I
The
think,
more people that ask for it, the
the
more
more
we'll hurry it up and like put that as a
Yeah.
priority. So if you want that, tell
make
us.
sure to let us
Tell
know.
us.
Yeah.
Because right now we've got a certain like kind of priority sets, but the
Yeah.
more that something gets asked for, the higher it gets up in the kind of like priority.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
but it would be really, really nice to do something
Yeah.
like that. To again bring the community in a little bit more, and we'll have
Yeah.
like themes. So it's like maybe 1 month you don't actually really want to read that specific book, but we
Yeah.
could just have a theme and be like,
Yeah.
you know,
I
if you
think,
don't want to read this specific book because maybe you've read it or it's just not your
Yeah.
tea, try read something in this genre, because I feel like a lot of time, and I
Yeah.
do this a lot as well, is I stick to one genre and
Yeah.
that's it. Like I'm very much right now romance. I'm maybe
yeah.
go into some crime and things like that, but they're my comfort genres.
Yeah.
So something like kind of one pushing us outside of our comfort zones as
Yeah,
well, but also
definitely.
you guys. I feel like it will be something we do all together
Yeah.
and we can
And
do.
like we can motivate each other.
Yeah.
I also, with the book club, I think when another future goal is like having our own like book club service. So like we have our
Yeah.
own little like coffee catch-up stamp on each book and be like, this is the book we're reading this month, and
So like you guys
get them
subscribe
shipped it out.
and then we get it all to
Because then we're
you.
also working with authors that want to supply
Exactly.
their books to us.
And I think in the meantime as well, there's a lot of different, like in the UK, because I saw this business on Instagram. I'll put in the handle in here so you guys can go check them out.
Yeah.
But it was a book monthly book box. We don't have a lot in the UK, and the ones that we do have are expensive. They're like £40 a month, right? Which is ridiculous for like 1 or 2 books, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just not sufficient.
It's not.
I think this was, and I'll put in like all the information and things, was I think £12.50 for 2 books a month.
That's a bargain if you ask me.
And it's a small business. They're in the UK. And I really want us to eventually do something with them, because like I feel like us promoting them would help that as well. And also we get to try out a new service, and I feel like a lot during our vlogs and the podcast will be a lot of the time promoting these smaller businesses as a thing of one, to help them to help spread their kind of content, and also two, for us to try new things and give something to talk about, and also gain something in the process, because obviously then we like have new merch to wear, so we're not just wearing the same thing over and over again. But yeah,
you know, I'll be living in that merch. I will never wear anything else.
Yes.
Even to like a red carpet event, I'll be wearing our merch.
Yeah, we'll be famous, guys, and we'll just be pulling up in the Etsy merch.
Yeah. Oh no, I do. Like, I can't wait. Like, there's just so much that like I can see where this is going.
Anya and I have very visionary minds.
Yeah.
To say.
We get a bit carried away sometimes, but it's okay.
Yeah, we're living it.
Yeah.
And I think this is the thing, is we've got so much stuff that we're looking forward to. Granted, not everything will happen, you know, or it'll be really slow. But it's the people who, you know, are actually supporting us which really matter. And again, I'm gonna say it again because it's really important. But thank you all so much who have actually, like, you know, sent messages, supported, followed, all these kind of things, because you didn't have to. I know it's like it doesn't take a lot, but
you took some time out of your day to just look at our page.
Exactly. And we're so excited to bring more content to you. Obviously, it seems like a lot of you like the bloopers, and there's a lot of bloopers that we're going to
there's always bloopers, guys.
I think the other thing we were looking at is doing a like monthly bloopers reel. So obviously we've got our little shorts that we do, which we'll be releasing more like after the podcasts are released, but having like a couple-minute video of just the bloopers from that month,
so that you can laugh out loud.
Yeah. But the thing is, right, Anya and I, right, we're like getting ready to film. We haven't pressed record yet, and something so funny happens.
Oh god, yeah.
And then we're sat there and we're like, we're not recording it.
We're like, what was the whole point? And like,
oh my god.
There we have not what our friendship becomes.
There we have our fun without recording.
That's not what it becomes. Like, we do something and it's like, no, wait, you can't do it on camera.
No. I think it's just, you know what
Yeah.
happens on camera is meant to happen.
Yeah.
What happens off camera is for our enjoyment. Like, thing is, like,
Yeah.
it seems fun, but it's even funner. Like, when
That's
funner,
not a word.
it's even more fun.
Says someone who reads books.
Listen, I barely passed English for GCSEs, okay? Hold your horses. But like, I mean, like, as in,
Yeah.
it's more fun behind the scenes without you guys watching as well. Like, it,
Yeah.
like,
No, like, this hasn't affected our friendship in
no.
any way.
I mean, I
It's
guess
made
that
it, like, stronger.
I guess it is our first, like, couple weeks of doing it, but I
yeah.
don't think it will.
I don't think it will.
Unless you guys get a
Touch
video
wood.
being like, so we broke up.
We broke up.
We broke
The
up.
distance increased.
Also, we are trying to like fill the distance as well,
Oh,
because I
yeah.
know that one of the feedback as well, constructive criticism, guys, we're okay with,
yeah.
as long as you do it in a respectful way, and it's not like this is terrible, this is terrible,
Yeah.
this is terrible, and we cry. It's okay, right? Like,
Yeah, of
one
course.
person said obviously the distance was a bit much, and the
Yeah.
reason why we have this distance is so that we could do the zoom ins that we do and things.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to be here for much longer.
No.
We're probably going to film the first 4 or 5 episodes here.
And then
I'm moving house.
Yeah.
And we're going to move the setup there. But hopefully, I'm hoping that we'll actually have kind of a podcast area in a way, because I'm going to have my own office and it's quite a long room, so we could maybe fit in like a couch or something like that.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about how we spent an hour just trying to fix lighting and then ended up deciding to come back here?
Yeah. Yeah, we spent a whole hour pulling apart the living room, like getting everything into
Moving chairs.
Yeah, moving chairs, moving lighting, trying different lighting.
Yeah, because we had
literally
natural light, we had a lamp, we had another lamp,
Yeah.
we had the main light, and then we had like a key light as
Yeah.
well. And we literally,
Nothing was working.
I think Anya got here at 12. Like, we got
Yeah.
here at 12, and then we only actually started recording at 1:30 because of everything. And then we just decided, we were like, let's just do it here again.
Yeah.
So we will probably stick with this
Yeah.
for the next few episodes. It's not amazing. We understand that the lighting is still iffy, but hopefully it will just get better and better. And if you like these book selections, let us know. You know, we'll change them up a little bit every few.
Maybe I feel like maybe we should do like our monthly like
TBR. Almost.
TBR.
Yes.
Not that I read a book a month, but you know.
The thing is, I think, right, I'll read a lot more because of this.
I feel like, yeah, it will probably force me to read a bit more, but then I don't want to, like, fall out of love with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be like, oh, well, I have to read it, because it's like, although this is a hobby, it's more like a job.
Now, anyway. Yeah. I think, as well, we're going to have a lot... I don't want to give too much in. I'm not going to say what book it is, okay? But...
You're terrible at this. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to say something.
I'm feeding them little pieces, and then they don't know what we're talking about. So it's like, it's the tease. What can I say? So the plan for the next few episodes is obviously this episode's just been about really coffee catch-up and you know, where it came from. I think also we still need to talk about in a second, actually, how it became a thing now.
Yes.
As in,
yeah.
You know what I mean. But also, next episode's going to be more focused on us and also the questions, because we've asked you guys on the Discord server to give a few questions for us, which actually I love, because I thought it was going to be such like basic questions, like how did you two meet? But no, these are thoughtful questions. So thank you.
Did well.
You guys served.
You cooked. Can I use that?
Yeah, you can use that.
I feel like everyone thinks that it's cringe when I say that. Like, whenever I've said that.
I'm a gamer. I say I'm cooking all the time.
Yeah.
When I'm not actually. I've burnt it, technically. But... So,
yeah.
I'm preheating the oven. Yes, it's not working yet. Hold on. So the second episode will be kind of just us in general as people, which you've kind of gotten a little bit, you know, so far. Anya's given me the go-ahead that I can
the green light.
So between podcast episode 2 and 3, we're going to give you guys a little treat. We're going to be giving our first ever vlog video. Now, I'm not going to say anything more of it. All I'm saying is that there's a vlog and we're doing something together. That's all.
Yeah.
Right? So, the next 3 weeks, we're going to be giving you guys so much content, right? And we need a lot of support.
A lot.
so that we can carry on going, all right?
Yeah.
So please, if you have friends or if you have people who you want to share this with, please do. You know, hopefully we'll be that comfort kind of YouTubers that, like, you know, you're able again just to, if you're having a bad day, just pop on and, you know, be like, okay, time to watch the new.
I feel like you're actually sat here with us.
Yeah, like having a conversation with. Because I think the other thing that someone said was the fact that our conversations flow very well and they're very back and forth.
Because remember, we haven't actually scripted anything. We've just given each other like points.
Like key points, and you know, actually, I think we've done a lot better than what I thought. Like the recording is coming up to about 35 minutes. I think we'll finish at like 40, 45.
Yeah.
And the video will end up being like 30 minutes, which is perfect.
Good.
Yeah. Because I think the intro took us 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do.
Definitely.
But
I think once we've gotten into it, unstoppable.
No one will be able to stop us.
Yeah.
No one. But I think our final point now is actually how did coffee catch-up become a thing? Like fully. Like now.
Yeah.
Like what was it that made us go, let's do it? So Anya, obviously this is all you.
I know. So for my part-time job I work at Mackie D's. Good old Mackie D's. I feel like every teenager works there. Like you have
I got denied by them.
You know, well, you worked at George's.
No, I got rejected by McDonald's. I'm just saying.
Well, that wasn't me. I didn't personally reject you. But I was like throughout my day, I'd just be like thinking back, and it didn't really start as coffee catch-up. It started as something else, and I was like, I really want to start like a website or because I have a blog. I've made the coffee catch-up blog as well, if you want to check that out.
All of our links are below, by the way, guys. All for social media, for both coffee catch-up and also personal, because we both are like very active or try to be very active on social media. So definitely go check that out.
And it was just like a reoccurring thing in my head, and I'd be like, I need to do this, like I want to do this. And the thing is with both of us, if we want to do something, we're gonna do it no matter what.
Yes. What can I say? I like starting things.
Yeah.
Finishing them, not so much. But
you've got me to hold you accountable.
I can't back out now. No. I've agreed. I mean, we may not have signed a contract, but in our heads. Yeah.
So I decided to set up a little where did we go?
We just
went to go eat.
We went to this small family business type.
To have some breakfast. And I was there. I was like so nervous. I don't know why I was nervous. I was like,
I'm a very scary person. Guys, you know, so intimidating.
I'd actually written down this whole plan, and I was gonna make it a PowerPoint, but then I didn't have enough time.
You'd have to bring like a computer.
Yeah, and I'd have to be like, so I brought a little notebook with me, and I'd like written like literally to the T like every single aspect of this to show Jess that like I'm 100% in, like I've thought this through, like it's not going to be something that we're starting from scratch, like we have like a formula to start this on. And so we sat there, and I literally looked at you for like a bit too long, and you were like, are you okay? And I was like, oh, I've got to do it. And I said, let's start coffee catch-up again. Let's do it again, and
I just kind of sat there and was listening and like was nodding, and then you were like telling me everything about it.
I was like, and like I was like future plans. I was like what we could initially start with and how we can branch it out. And you were just sat there looking at me, and I was like, she's gonna say no. She's gonna say, what are you on about?
Whereas in my head, I was like thinking like, okay, this is amazing, because for me, I recently as well personally, I've kind of said to myself, I can't just keep starting things and not finishing them. Again, it's a huge trait of mine, like, you know, full diving into something, putting all my effort into it for the first few weeks, and then it falling off. Not it falling off, but me falling off, being like flies fine. But me just like running out of motivation. So I had said to myself, no more. And then obviously Anya comes to me with this, and I'm like, okay, but this is what I've literally been wanting to do for so long. And it's that whole thing of like, especially with your best friend, is like it feels so much better to do it with, because you've got that motivation. So Anya was telling me all of this, and I was like just nodding.
So I didn't want to it to seem like I was like putting it on you, and then I was gonna like take a step back. I wanted you to feel like I'm in this, and I'm like, I've thought this through, and I'm gonna like be there and like help.
Yeah.
So, because obviously you have streaming on the side, you have your own brand that you want to create.
Yeah.
And I didn't want you to feel like, oh, now she's like pushing something else onto me.
Yeah.
And like put you under pressure.
And I feel like how you like described it was really helpful, just because it made me think as well, like, okay, she's thought about it. She knows what she's doing. Like, obviously, you have your you have your talents in a way, like your parts where you're really good at. I've got mine, like, and we can both use them together.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to M, who did our logo, because I think that was the first thing that I had said, like, I'll handle it, I'll sort it out. Just what's it? Because I know exactly who can do this. So our logo was hand drawn, started literally from like scratch. Yeah, and so's our banner as well. So huge thanks to M. We love you. We're doing that one.
Sorry. Oh,
it's the Gen Z one, isn't it?
Maybe I'm not Gen Z. Is that it?
That's it, I think. We'll stick to this one. But yeah, so huge thank you to M.
She's so talented.
Literally.
We literally said like what we wanted, and she just knew instantly what we wanted. Like she'd like, it's like she saw the vision.
She saw the vision. And maybe we do a video of like literally the evolvement of it, because you know. But yeah, so started with that, and then I was like, I'll sort out the social media aspect, like the setting up. And now we're at the point where, we're kind of both doing, like, Anya's really focusing on the blog. Like, I have basically no blog stuff. I even sometimes ask Anya to help with captions and things, because she's a lot more, like, as much as I do a lot of social media, my main point isn't captions, it's the actual look of things.
But that's why I love that we're starting it together, because you've got the skills on social media. You know what is great for the algorithm. You know what's great for people to see
and like connect with other people as well and make those relationships. But you're the kind of like, I like to call it the aesthetic, because I'm not an aesthetic person in a way. Hopefully my new room will be, but like as in like I've just never been that kind of person to be like, this looks aesthetic, I'm going to take a photo, whereas you are. And like, I mean, you should see your Pinterest. It's Pinterest. But yeah, it's those talents that we both have that we're using together, and also getting help from other people as well. So huge thank you to everyone who's helped as well. But that being said, I feel like we've covered most of the things.
If there's any questions, again, just pop them down below. Or suggestions. Suggestions.
Anya questions.
Amazing.
Easy. But no, again, these videos will be a lot more relaxed and chill. The intro video was very like serious in a way.
I feel like we were like, this is what we're going to talk about.
But I feel like that had to be it, because obviously it was so short. We had to make sure. Whereas with the podcast, we can kind of be easy. Just
I don't know what to say. Stop it.
But yes, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully we will see you guys next week for the next episode. And make sure to go check out all our social media again down below in the description.
I'm going the wrong way.
Are you?
Yeah, I was going this way.
Down below, guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.